welcome back. It's been quite a while since last time I've recorded, about a week or more since last time I recorded Final Fantasy XIV. So hopefully we can get this, get at least this part done, or this recording session done, with a good amount of episodes and a good amount of story progression. Alize's quest. Is it in the Rising Stones, perchance? Because I did something in between episodes in this game, but I can't remember what I did. Oh, there's Graha. Oh, greetings, Edgar. Come to look in on our friends. Rest assured, everyone is quite well. I've been keeping a close eye on them and have satisfied myself that they are all in fine health. As a matter of fact, they just about to convene in Dawn's Respite to discuss how best to use their pent-up energy. Let's join them, shall we?
Well, my friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let it...
Whoops.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I've a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
Hold on. Just had to make sure the recording's working all well.
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well.
Welcome back, everyone!
Lise!
I don't know why, but I was expecting Master Matoya to be the one who's opening the door.
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
The famous Lise Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
And that least isn't an Archon.
Grahatir, at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the first. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
Oh, right. I did glance at the report. But I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it. Well, that's a lot to take in. just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
Well, to our knowledge, we could always have another without us knowing.
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition.
But that does not mean that another one won't happen, because, like, we have discussed, the 13th is turned into the Void, so if something happens here that will allow the Voids to do what the other one to rejoin, then we would have another calamity. But instead of a calamity of light, we would have a calamity of darkness.
And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I'll take that as a yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lys, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? All right, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire. So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble. The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald. And we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Ah, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you used to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alizé, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting. I knew you'd say yes.
I'll come too. If you don't mind, that is.
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
We shall be on our way then. Godspeed.
I think it was a trick of a light, but for a second there I thought Alize's ears wiggled. Where the fuck are we? Oh, we're back in the room where they were asleep. When I set out to save Halric, I think Gabu was always at the back of my mind, and having proved that the light corrupted are not lost, I am convinced that the same must be true of the tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the ether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant. And though the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It is by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, Alize, and it warrants full investigation. If there's even a chance we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Lamisa and set to work, there's no room for recklessness, not when a child's life is at stake. As I'm sure Big Lug would remind us, we still have little and less about the soul. Any number of things to go wrong if we don't execute due caution. So before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. Should we find a blacksmith? There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of the many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not of the modern scholars, perhaps, but what of their ancient counterparts? I know the Elegants took a more than pressing interest in the subject. And if what we seek is to be found anywhere, it would surely be at the Ether Chemical Research Facility. Etherochemical. Why, they experimented on primals and their worshippers, yes? Good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read the reports on as its law, which means we'll be needing an airship. An airship, you say? Meet me at the northern bank of Silvertier Lake. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. Time to go on Sid's ride of adventure. The Magic Sid bus. Now we're just gonna leave that be. Hey, real. While Thangred and Ryunjay are off to Old Garlemald, I'll keep the information flowing freely between us and the Alliance. After all, close coordination's the key to winning this war. Got a silly kitty. Got a crazy kitty. Got a kitty. Belly rub? Nya. No, this isn't Sid's. No Magic Sid bus. Wait, don't we have a miniature one on us? I give you the Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. I built her as a company project with help from our friends at the Rising Stones, and named her for lucky and prosperity. Totaro, this is amazing. We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship, I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of the Scion's fabled coin keeper. I also introduced myself as your pilot, except the training didn't go quite as well as I'd hope, but that's alright because we hired this capable fellow here instead. The Bonanza is equipped with a fully complement of mana cutters. By the way, feel free to use them just to get around as the Slaw. But enough talk, it's time to fly all aboard. Yeah, we have a mana cutter because we got one from Sid. I don't remember when we got it, but we have one, I think. Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way that airship flies. Tataru has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on Azaz Law, and Alphino's report did not do the scale of this place justice. More food to forget about. Do we have meatballs or... Yes, we do have the meatballs. So we'll take those. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and... Yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time on Azaz Law, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records in the Crystal Tower. Unless I am mistaken, this path leads to the Aetheryte, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I should just begin our search there. Mounts. Yeah, we do have a mana cutter. The scythe does not like the mana cutter. And here is the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references to tempering. And there we are. Econ corruption and overview. That sounds promising. Indeed, let us see what this report has to say. Confound it, the contents appear to have been deleted. What? No, isn't there something you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid, but it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is where to look. It says here the report was written by someone named Owen. Is it likely that he kept a copy? I would say it is a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had quarters on the heavy sphere. We can ascertain the details at heavy sphere controls. Let us return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. I forget you already have a suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship, then we'll see you at the heavy sphere. Mount. So where are we going again? Where's the habbies? Where's the hobby happy hob? Oh, just on the other side. I honestly do not remember when we got this. The reps and Sid, Pigs and Witch. Right, they made this in the workshop in Heaven's Ward. Yeah, I remember. The machinist workshop. Oh, they're over here. If the late Owen did indeed have a chamber here, this node will be able to tell us its number. There, from what I recall of the layout, it would be somewhere in the vicinity of, Warning, evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the heavy sphere is not permitted at this time. Followed again, in all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the 4th Umbral Calamity, and I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. Energy levels critical, returning to the base for recharge. Well, surely there must be other ways to gain access. Force, for example. Here we resort to that. I have an idea. Were we to send a surge of energy through your control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall that they are known to form at points of stagnant ether throughout the continents. You seem to recall. Are you honestly telling me that was in the records too? I'm proud. A report sent to the capital mentioned that lightning aspected ether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting in surges that interfere with equipment. A minor detail, I grant you, but it's my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower. There was no such thing as too much Allegan knowledge. Besides, my studies helped me to feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you, it was more exhilarating than I can well express. Now then, the lightning shard, if I may. I suggest we split up and search the Beta Quadrant. Oh, but beware of sprites. They are wont to manifest where the ether is stagnant. Now you're just showing off, which makes me think we should make a contest of this. The first to return here with a shard wins. What do you say? Very well, it would be my honor to come third. Find stagnant lightning and defeat the lightning sprites that appear. Oh, the ground here is kind of moving. Bravo, that was quite a show, adventurer. Why, this spectacle proved to so enthralling that all thought of the prize slipped my mind. I appear to have forfeited our low race. Congratulations, the lightning shard is yours. Yep, it's Graha. Very funny. Now let's get back to work. Forgive me, this scene so reminded me of our first meeting, I couldn't resist. Well, the contest continues, so you had better hurry back. Oh, but one last thing. Thank you, Edgar, for bringing me here. I'm not looking forward to tonight, nor of the coming nights, because I have splinterous tools to work on. Good thing I'm only doing the what was it? The Gatherers ones. Here's as I had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard? A lightning shard that is fairly dances. A lightning shard that fairly dances with the concentrated energy it harbors. Handle with care. Throws it on the ground. See what happens. What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? A magic map. That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we can both learn a great deal from Edgar, and not only about the secrets of adventuring, but come we should attend to our mission. Get yourselves a magic map. Excellent. The system responded exactly as intended. We now have access to the Happy Sphere. Only one obstacle remains. The security system within, should they be triggered, they could make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I am right, my royal blood should allow me to venture in unmolested. Assuming this place works like the Crystal Tower, yes, but if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise me that you'll get out at the first sign of trouble. I promise. Wish me luck. We just hear an explosion in the background. Oh, nothing for it but sit tight. Now I'm wondering if they'll turn the Happy Sphere into player housing one day. I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but econ corruption and overview sound like a stadium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the combat applications of either. I'm nothing if not practical. Alphanos was more philosophical, of course. Political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Charlene's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star, in direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced that his views and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently, by which I mean the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little more open-minded, but deep down it still holds fast to that one belief, and I admire him for it. I should have liked to meet the young Alphino. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the elegant civilization as depicted in folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the stadium. I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the Student of Baldesia convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, in Archon's thesis, I shudder to imagine what the work involved, but enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Yes, Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Analyzing, scanning for a registered user. User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authorization. Verifying. Authorization complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, Your Highness. I never ceases to amuse me. Just but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Uni said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search for archives for iconic corruption. Wait a minute! We were alive in the first for 100 years, and it didn't fade. Even if you did make yourself part of the Crystal Tower, wouldn't that mean it would still fade eventually? So we at least know it will take over 100 years for it to fade. 100 years plus, because we don't know how long he was after the 8th Umbral Calamity before he went back to the 1st. So he doesn't have to worry about it ever fading, because it most likely he'll fade he'll die before it fades. Searching, one item found, econ corruption, and overview. Report is locked by the author, please state password. Well, go on then, Your Highness, tell the Nice Know the password. Alright, let's see. Glory be to Aleg. Long live Emperor Zande. Password incorrect, please try again. Confound it. Come now, passwords are invariably short and simple for instance. Password. The notion that password could be something so insane would be laughable were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. What did that thing just call me? Courage! Password incorrect. Again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Mechana into cooperating, it is them. Come, let us bear the node back to the Rising Stones. Let's get just some more of the meatballs. More meatball. I don't actually care for meatballs. Oh, it's the better version. Here we go. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Ramperos did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you, my proposal to seek his help is no pretext. However much I might look forward to seeing him again, him and everyone, but come, let us be on our way. Look at him, all but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? I hope I teleport to the right place. I mean, did we? Yeah. But first, cabbage. Wonderful news. Edgar Taru contacted Sid on our behalf, and he is on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should like very much to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Cryo? Cutscene? No. As you know, well, voiced cutscene, I should say. As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to the recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Doman allies, the War of Succession rages on and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial Legion and the provinces have begun to move independently of the motherland. Of great concern to us is the Third Legion aligned with Lord Novra. Apparently they have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus, aren't they the ones who took in Yotsuyo and Ashi? This bodes well. Xenos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thancred and Oriange will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict, and so thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the Beast Tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their representative houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem easily solved. The Lemesians in particular struggle in their efforts, and Alphino and Y'shtola has been called upon to aid them. So long as we are dealing with the Tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable in Dawn's respite? I'll show Sid in as soon as he arrives. Sid. Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Well, I would have been had you not fulfilled your promise. I still struggle with that idea. From what I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfoundable as they ever did. Even if an alternate version of myself had already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something, was it? Well, treatment for tempering, and for the next step, you need to find the password to this Allegan's report. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly, and thus we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say that we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitek terminal should make short work of identifying the password. I know I could rely on you now, anticipating that it might be of use. I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambaros. It contains an Allegan dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to a terminal and set it to work right away. Looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom. Short and simple, just as I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, milady. Why did Graha get so short? Node, open the report entitled Contract Corruption and Overview. Password, freedom. Password, accepted. Opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanisms by which econs corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomena we call corruption refers to the alteration of the ether of the soul. Said ether exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the ether of an econ, this changes. Their soul takes on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposed to the ether of the fiend, Sephiroth would cause a subject's ether to become aligned with the elements of Earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with Earth-aspected magic as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance their traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The change undergo by the subjects are not solely attributed to elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged and stagnant during the process. The stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom comes to consume their entire existence. In this manner, do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon. Their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of econ corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women, all fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed unnecessary by Lord Amon. Though I know it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impudence, I have been stripped of rank and title, and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in the hopes that one day someone will undertake to do that which I could not, and find a cure for the victims of econ corruption. End recording. So not even the Allagans were able to find a cure, or rather were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Amon's decision. More importantly, this confirms the stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True, yet were we simply to reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do not to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its thrall. Remember who they were. Of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adding the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation. That is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Though thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitement of false faith, which has come to dominate the individual's thoughts. I see the theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help us to identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall you attempt to do so while trying to bring us home, accumulate in literal bloodletting. They did. You are right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I can see that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not prove the basis for a cure. It perhaps would be better that we considered another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have reason to be confident. You see, the nodes, such as they were built with the ability to stimulate magics, which leads me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of the transference techniques. If so, we could be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no difficult from how we identified the password. But it'll take more calculating power, a lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Dummy said, "Why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password?" "To keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else?" "Wait, a password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure and a dictionary, would it keep it from a person's minded to look?" "No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective, I believe their motto was freedom through technology or some such. You two round up as many matchstick terminals as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief." Things are about to get very busy. Luckily, we have you to help, eh? Right, well, Grahatia and I configure the terminals. I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have of both, the better. If the ice shards to me, I round up some adventurers and go on a gathering spree. In that case, I trust Edgar and Jose with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Take them to the Sky Steel Manufactory and Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant in Thanalan. The people there will give you what you need. Yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanalan. Let's see. Steel. He's standing in the Sky Steel Manufactory. What does he require? Issued by Garland Artworks, this preliminary note is intended for the purchase of the quantity of ceruleum specified thereupon. So you are after ceruleum. In that case, please present the note to our engineer at the airship landing. He shall be glad to assist you. Ceruleum, you've come to the right man. Fair warning, though, the price has shot up on account of the uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you've got the coin. Oh, now a promissory note from the Ironworks. Don't see many of these. Not that it's a problem, it's as good as gold to me.
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end, have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course. Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find.
You sound kind of different. Then again, I haven't heard your voice in months, so...
I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you? But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day? A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed. Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it. In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
I wonder if it'll explode. And is Alize asleep? Oh no, she's awake.
Oh, who would have thought ceruleum weighed so much? Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more now that I look at it.
So did your voice get deeper?
Lord Emmerich, eh? And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
It's been a while, hero. You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering. But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
Ask Jessie. She was the one who hired you. All I know is you're an employee of the Ironworks now, so you'll bloody well earn your keep.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel, not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me. 9 parts to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
Very well then. I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
Whatever you say, Garland.
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin. All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while. It's overloading.
We didn't have enough ice crystals. Or did we need water crystals?
She won't last much longer!
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close. So very close.
Wait, we still have a box of ice crystals back there.
Oh,
Let's use those. Zip dancing, get running.
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There. I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
It's just as well. She'll never run again.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Oh, time to take it apart and make it into something else.
don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
Okay, where are we now? Oh, we're back here. That'll be it for this episode, and I'll see you all in the next.